Yo, what's up, melanated family? How's everybody doing, man? So let me get to it real quick. Just found out some extremely pertinent information about what happened to the brother Nipsey Hussle, right? So 3 years ago when Nipsey Hussle got killed, even though I'm, even though I'm a big proponent of like understanding the government's involvement in affecting how we liberate ourselves, like affecting our progress. I'm well aware with COINTELPRO and just how the government in general has done their best to stifle our movement, right? So I'm well aware of that. However, when the brother Nipsey Hussle got killed by Eric Holder, but based on everything that I seen at the time, I was under the impression that, you know what, this was more or less some hood shit opposed to some governmental involvement type shit, right? The brother confronts Eric Holder about being a snitch. In my mind, because I'm aware of how gang structure is to a degree, just as far as, you know, you have different type of individuals in gangs. Like some dudes good at selling dope, some dudes good at robbing people, some dudes good at fucking people up, some people good at killing people, right? So in my mind, I'm like, okay, Eric Holder was just one of them killer type niggas who, regardless of who you are, if you come at him the wrong way, or if something happens that he don't like, opposed to talking it out or trying to figure it out a particular way, this nigga gonna kill you. You see what I'm saying? So I thought it was nothing more than that. He could have been a little envious of Nipsey. He could have been a little jealous just based on Nipsey being like the biggest individual in their section at the time, right? So I'm thinking all of this for the motivation behind why this brother killed Nipsey Hussle, right? However, it's been released today. A reporter from The Guardian has actually unveiled this information that, here, I'm going to read it to y'all because this is some crazy shit, family. This is like some 2019 COINTELPRO shit, right? So the reporter for The Guardian has released a report basically stating that the LAPD, the 77th district to be exact, of the LAPD actually created a program called Operation Laser, family, right? Operation Laser, which stands for Los Angeles Strategic Extraction and Restoration Program, right? Now, this program basically targeted Nipsey and his family as far as, and his brother Black Sam has referenced this when they first started selling their shirts, right? They would get harassed by the police to move from the location they were in, and they begin to progress, right? Went from selling shirts on the street to having a storefront to having a more advanced storefront. So the police in that area was really looking at Nipsey and his family like, how the fuck are they doing this, right? So throughout the years, they will go through several types of measures to stifle their progress, even trying to get the landlord to the building where the Marathon clothing store is, trying to get the landlord to evict them, right? So the LAPD was trying their best to make sure this brother didn't progress. So I think I stand corrected, family. Like, again, I was one that didn't think the police or the government had something to do with Nipsey Hussle's death. Today, right, I stand corrected. I think for sure now, for sure the government, I don't give a fuck who don't like, for sure the government had something to do with this brother being killed. For sure. Because this is similar to some COINTELPRO shit. If you're targeting him, they was targeting him, they was following him, they was following his family, they put tabs on everybody around his situation, right? They made sure they would flood that parking lot with police officers. In their minds, they felt that eventually they would see crime, or eventually they would see some violence take place so they can arrest some motherfuckers. It never happened, right? The parking structure, the plaza where the Marathon clothing store was rather peaceful, right? Which further upset them, right? It was peaceful, wasn't a lot of violence, not what they thought it was. This is some racist shit where they likened the individuals in that community to tumors that needed to be removed. This is what the report says, family. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm happy this shit comes out now, opposed to 15, 20, 30 years from now. But at this point, family, believe me when I say, I'm convinced that this brother was targeted and murdered. Because let me tell y'all something, right? The powers that be at times see the potential in us like they see the direction we may be going even more so than other people in the community, because they said at the time, the Marathon clothing store, which had a grand opening, which I was blessed. I was just happened to be in LA, and I was blessed to be able to visit the store, see the grand opening, see how luxurious the store was. Like the inside of that store was like on some Macy shit. It was really, really nice, right? They say the grand opening of that store was the biggest in Southern California's history, right? So let's look at that, family. At this point, I'm convinced the police, the powers that be, understood the direction this brother was going in. Understood that this brother potentially was probably going to end up owning this entire space in South, in his area on Crenshaw, like the plaza and everything around it.